to add and subtract fractions, we need a common denominator. So to get a common denominator, we've got to look at the factors in the denominator. So in this case here, x and 1, they're not factors, but x plus 1 is a factor, x minus 1 together is a factor. Okay, so I'm going to look at this fraction here. This guy over here, he's missing, to get a common denominator, have the factors match or get a common denominator, this guy over here is missing a x plus 1. So we need to introduce an x plus 1 factor here. Okay, and then to make sure that this fraction is balanced, we've got to make sure that the numerator also has an x plus 1. Okay, this guy over here on the left, he's looking over here and he's missing an x minus 1 factor to get a common denominator. Okay, and then he's got to balance that top with an x minus 1 as well. Okay, so what we have here then, we have our numerators are going to be x minus 1 minus, and keep the brackets because remember that everything from here on is going to be subtracted. So we're going to end up with x squared plus x. Okay, and in this case here, it looks like those x's are going to cancel out. So then my common denominator is going to be x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay, we've got some terms that are going to cancel out here. So this plus x minus a positive x. We have negative 1 minus x squared. Okay, so it's going to look like this. It's going to be negative x squared minus 1 in the numerator and x minus 1 x plus 1 in the denominator. And this is not factorable because once we factor that out, the negative out, we're left with x squared plus 1, which is not factorable. This one here, we want to factor the denominators first to see what factors we're working with. Okay, so we're going to end up with a plus 1, a minus 1, plus, this one is going to have a plus 1, a plus 1. So we have a plus 1 squared. Okay, so to get a common denominator, we need to make the factors match. So if I look at the first fraction over here, this guy has two a plus 1s. This guy's missing an a plus 1. He's only got one of them. So we need to put an extra a plus 1 factor here. Okay, so that makes the factors match. That's going to help us match the factors. We can't multiply the denominator without making sure that we multiply the numerator, otherwise we change the value of the fraction. Over on the right hand side here, this guy's got two a plus 1s, this guy's got two a plus 1s, that matches. Missing an a minus 1, so we got to then introduce an a minus 1 factor here, but we have to make sure that we can't change the value of the fraction. So we have to make sure we multiply the top by a minus 1 as well. Okay, so now I have my common denominator, balance my fractions. I now can add the numerators. It's going to be a plus 1 plus 2a minus 2. Okay, and the denominator is going to be a plus 1 squared times a minus 1. Okay, and then combine like terms, we have 3a minus 1. Let's rewrite that. So 3a minus 1 over a plus 1 squared a minus 1. Okay.